Cool, we're on. YouTube, what's going on? So, we are here at the Marriott, DFW North. Look at that, they got TVs on the treadmills. Check that out. We're just in the fitness center here. I'm about to come back here and get my sweat on. Eating healthier now for this last month, feeling a lot better. And gonna do some exercises. Look at that. Look at that. Free waters. This is when you know you're in like nicer hotels. They give shit away for you. But you know what? For you guys out there, this was on like 85 bucks a night. So really that's kind of cheap because you can't even get a sleazebag motel in Denver for less than 100. So we're gonna go back and get our headset or our headphones so that we can get our sweat on. I'm gonna take y'all to this room. So as y'all know, if I shut down for any amount of time, I get a motel room. It's just better that way. You know, it's easier. And it gives you, time to enjoy this place here. They got a restaurant, they got a bar, they got a pool, as you guys can see. So we'll be going in there, doing some swimming, towels, all that good jazz. And our room is actually right over there. So we just walk out the patio and come over here. But let's take y'all to this room. I want to show y'all this room real quick. Man, I like shutting down. I can't deliver till Sunday night. And I was like, hey, might as well shut it down, right? Being in that truck all the time. Plus, we got to do laundry. Of course. Check this out. So you don't have to pay for soap. They got like this solid detergent dispenser, Jigger Bob. It does it for you. So, hey, I'll keep my soap. So, let's go check this out. We got people working. Going in. Incognito. I don't want to disturb everybody working. Jesus is in the room. He's probably going crazy right now. I'm not going to show you all my room number because I know I got some super stalkers. If only I was so lucky. Have a hot one. He hears us. Zoom in. We're back. Check this out. Check this out. Of course, you got your shitter and that, whatever. But check this out. This is the room here. You got couch there, king size bed, business center, so we'll be putting our numbers in it. And check this out. This is the menu for the whatever. So I'm hoping they got room service. Maybe we can like have them bring our drinks and everything to us, And then of course you got little, microwave and all that. And then of course there's the patio. There's the pool, and there's the courtyard, and that is why they call it Courtyard by Marriott. So yeah, guys, I just want to give you all a quick tour. Shutting down for the weekend, gonna relax. Hope everybody's doing good, enjoying life, having fun. I gotta get over here and get my sweat on. We're gonna catch y'all on the next video. What's going on, YouTube? Let me turn this off here. Thanks, man. Be with mine. Leash collar thing you're chewing on here is noisy for the camera. We gotta do this, man. I gotta do this video. Hey. Go lay down. Go do something. Alright, YouTube. What's going on? Let me get closer. I want to make sure y'all can hear me. The name of the video is going to be we're going to call it like three things, like three questions. Successful, 1099, and new or used. Because it seems to be a topic of discussion around us truck drivers. I went down the YouTube hole last night. Greetings from the motel room, by the way. Bed. We didn't have room service come in today. We took an afternoon nap. We've been pretty lazy, So, I was watching YouTube last night, early this morning, and then I was just watching a live stream a little bit ago If you can hear that, that would be an aeroplane. Yes, we are at the Marriott by DFW. Anyway, about, you know, these other YouTube truckers like hating on each other, like, oh, you're not making enough money, you're not successful, or you watch some videos when they're talking about new and used trucks and they're like, used is better, no, new is better, and then hating on the guys if they, you know, if you running a new truck, they're hating on you because you should be running a used truck, vice versa. The lease guys are in there like, oh, if I can lease a truck, that's the way to go. And then 1099. Getting paid 1099, being W-2'd, all that stuff. And so I want to do my own video and throw in my 2 cents and start off by saying, if it works for you and you're happy with it and it's paying your bills and you're able to do what you want to do in life, and you're happy, then it ain't wrong. No matter what you're doing, no matter how much money you're making, no matter how you're getting paid, if you're happy with it, then there ain't no problem with it. So let me start off with the topic of 1099 employee versus W-2. Now, these topics that I'm speaking on, I have been there. I have made a little bit of money, and I've made a whole lot of money, you know, to me, for an individual. You know, starting out, my first job was at Sonic, and then I had 2 jobs at Sonic and Domino's when I was in high school, okay? I was making $300 a week between the 2 of them, you know, and then now where, you know, we'll do over $200K this year, to me that's a lot of money. So, and I've been paid a 1099 not only as a mechanic but as a truck driver, and I've been paid as a W-2 employee, also in both fields. And I've owned and paid, I've bought and paid for a used truck, and I've bought and am paying currently for a new truck. So I speak on these 3 subjects with a little experience. That being said, everybody's life situation and you know, will kind of play a different role in this and what you should do. So I'm not saying that there is a right and a wrong way. I can only give you my personal experiences, and then you take that and you make your decision. Don't ever let somebody else, what is the words I'm looking for here? Don't let somebody else influence the path that you want to take. Not that you should take, not that you're supposed to take, but that you want to take. Don't let somebody else tell you, you know, this is the way you have to do it. But you don't want to do it that way. Maybe you want to do it this way. Maybe you think, you know, path B is the way to go. Just because somebody tells you to go down path A, don't mean that you should. So that's how I run my channel. I don't impose my ideas on anybody, especially the new and upcoming truckers. You can take my personal experience, and then, you know, maybe you get something out of it and you can make a better decision, because I've made some poor decisions along the way. So 1099 versus W-2. Here's the first thing you have to know about a 1099. You have to take out all the taxes. So when you're used to getting paid every week and you see them take out the Social Security and the federal and state and what FICA and all that, Medicaid, now you have to take all that out. It solely relies on you. It is a way for a small business like myself to get out of having to pay your portion of the taxes, or part of your portion. So when you make all that money, you know, I did it, and then I got to the end of the year when my first year as a 1099 employee, and I owed the government a whole bunch of money, and I couldn't pay them. Because you make, you know, what I did like 65,000 my first year gross, and then the government was like, hey, you owe us $7,000 after deductions. You know, I wrote off all my tools, you know, clothing, boots, and supplies that I bought, and it wasn't enough. Phone, and I still owed $7,000. So you have to keep that in mind. All the taxes fall on you. That's why, as a business owner now, of course, Landstar pays me as a 1099 contractor, but I W-2 myself. Hercules Transport Service LLC or corporation W-2s me, Christopher. So every week that I run my payroll, I pay my taxes every week, and the business pays a portion of that. To let you guys in, if I run my payroll for $900, it's going to cost the business over $1,000, because your retirement and the portion of the taxes that the business has to cover, gets added on to that gross pay, and then out of that they take my personal taxes out of that, and then I take home like 7 something because I claim 0. Single, no dependents guys claim 0. Because you're still, if you make a lot of money and you claim 0 at the end of the year, you might still owe some money. That's just Uncle Sam being greedy. That's how the government is, in my opinion. So, best way to do it, if you're gonna do a 1099 and they're gonna pay you more. Typically, the guys, that were getting paid 1099, especially in the oil field, we're getting a better percentage, and we're being paid more than the guys at W-2 because, you have to take your taxes out. So as a way to compensate for that, do it every quarter, so you don't have that big payment at the end of the year. Also, as an individual 1099 employee, contractor, you're not an employee if you're 1099, because you're not covered under workman's comp. You're not getting any company benefits. They're just paying you the money, and the rest of that falls on you. And then it negates their tax obligation for you working for them. There again, you can make a lot of money as a 1099, and if you have an awesome tax accountant that I didn't have, and you're able to make $100,000 and keep all 100,000 of it, more power to you, man. That's I'd do that. I'd have done that back then for sure. So what was I saying? I'm being contracted. And then, so yeah, that's basically that in a nutshell. If you're going to be a 1099, just be careful with it and know that the tax obligation falls on you. And as an individual, there's only so much that you can write off. There are caps for individual deductions. That's why I'd also recommend, if you're going to do the 1099, to set up an LLC. There is no cap in what a business can write off. If you can prove and keep the receipts in case you're audited that whatever you bought is used for the business in some way, form, or fashion, whether it be paper or clothing or equipment or an office space or anything for that matter, your transportation, a whole damn car, if it's only used for the business, for you to go from point A to point B, and the majority of the time it's not used for personal use, you can write that whole thing off. So set up an LLC, have them pay the business, and then you take your money out of that. W-2, everybody knows W-2. They're gonna take care of it. You typically, when you're a W-2 employee, you get your medical, vision, dental, health, some sort of retirement plan. And then your pay and all that. That's how I do myself, because it is a deduction for the business. Everything that the business matches in retirement, and then whatever I put in there, that's a personal deduction for me, and then whatever the business matches is a deduction for the business. And then of course all the business on my side, for me, I'm talking me, it covers my benefits 100%. I've worked for businesses where I got that idea is I've worked for companies that that was a perk. Hey, we'll pay for your health insurance. So when me and my accountant went through and set it up, that's how we set it up. So does Christopher Cremeen makes $100,000 a year? No, he does not. He does not even close. But there's a lot of stuff that you typically have to pay for as an individual that I can make for business use, and then therefore the business can take care of it. So the best thing to do is get a good tax accountant and sit down with them, and they will let you know what you can and cannot do. They are worth their weight in gold, unless you want to take an accounting class. I'm not that big into numbers. So those are my thoughts on 1099. If you have any questions about it, I might be able to help answer. Please leave a comment below, and I will try to get back to you with an answer. Now let's move on down the road to new versus used. New versus used. It is a huge topic of discussion. New trucks are better. Used trucks are better. Leased trucks are better. Remember, if it works for you and it makes you happy, man, then do it. And here's the thing, that cannot be spread as a wide net. Okay? If you're into older trucks, if you don't want nothing to do with the emissions BS that they have on today's trucks, the DEF and the after treatment, you're going to have to go pre-2008, pre-2007. So you're going to have to buy a used truck to get that. And it's probably going to have a lot of miles on it. You know, if you've got a good mechanic, diesel mechanic, buddy, or you are a diesel mechanic, or you own your own truck and you can do your own end frames and injectors, and you come from a diesel mechanic background, you know what? Then I think a used truck is the way to go, because, you know, as long as the heart of the beast is new and not breaking down on you, then you're running miles. That being said, there's a lot of stuff on a truck that once it reaches its life expectancy, it's just going to break. You know, wheel seals and brakes and tires and shocks and, you know, other engine components, water pumps, air compressors, transmissions, drives, drive shafts. I just had to have the drive shaft taken out of the Freightliner. Of course, it's got 875,000 miles on it now, but we had a vibration, and they took it out and sent it off to the shop, and come to find out the drive shaft is tweaked. So a whole new drive shaft has to go in after I just put 2 U-joints and a carrier bearing in it. So, well, I didn't. I had a shop do it. So that being said, know that when you're buying a used truck, especially right out of the gate, that she's going to require money. Have an escrow fund. Have money set up in an escrow fund already. It's going to make your life a hell of a lot easier, because you are going to have to put money in that truck. That being said, you know, you're not going to have a big fat truck payment probably, especially if you can put quite a bit of money down or buy the truck outright. You know, you figure if you buy the truck outright and you don't have a payment, then, you know, you can put essentially $2,500 a week. I'm sorry, $2,500 a month, which is about what it's going to cost you to buy a brand new truck, and put that in an escrow. And if you can get a couple of good months, you know, then you can make it. I've made it on a used truck. So buying a used truck is not something to not do. That being said, if you can buy one from a pretty good sized reputable dealer, or buy one, you know, from a friend that you have a lot of background on and that you trust, you know, that's being better. Because if you buy a used truck from a dealership, and really any dealership, I don't care if it's Rush Peterbilt or Transwest Freightliner or Joe Blow's truck sales on the corner of Colfax, take that truck to a third-party mechanic who can run it on the dyno and check for blow-by, check the compression. You know, they can run it and check the torque and horsepower on it and give you an expectancy, which is, you know, and check for pressure in the cooling system, you know, and all that before you buy it, so that you know when you're buying one of these, you know, these $50,000 trucks that these big carriers like to turn in and sell over again, because they're running them till the warranties are out, you know, and then just buying new, which they can afford to do that. So take it to a third-party shop and have them running on a dyno, and then that will tell you, you know, if you're buying a truck and it's still got 80% of its specified horsepower, you know, if it says if it's rated for 500 and you're getting 460 to the wheels, you know, with only a couple inches of blow-by and no pressure in the cooling system, you know, and it pulls good and it doesn't smoke, hey, you probably got a good truck, you know. That's what I did with mine. I took it down to Stewart and Stevenson, who are the Detroit. If you're buying something with a Detroit in it, it's the place to go. They're nationwide. If you can find one, I'd highly recommend using them. And then a new truck. I bought a new truck because I wanted a new truck. I was in the position to buy a new truck. It's coming to that time where the Freightliner might need a new motor. It's going to need an in-frame eventually, and I was not prepared to spend that money to put into that truck because, like I said, that was my starter truck. I went and bought my dream truck. And for the next 2.5 to 3 years, it's completely covered. The whole after treatment, the motor, and the heart of the beast, and the transmission and drivetrain, they're covered for $500,000. They're good for 5 years. But the 250,000 mile engine and after treatment warranty that it has, that's what I'm interested in. When it is up, please believe it's going back in. And I'm going to buy another one, because another thing, this is my opinion again, is that trucks today are not built like they were back in the day. They weren't built to go 1.5 million, 2 million miles, or go even go 500,000 miles without needing inside engine work, bearings, jugs, sleeves, whatever, head gaskets. You could get 500,000 miles pretty easy out of a 60 series or an old 6NZ Cat or something like that. N14 Cummins, they just ran. They're not building them like that today, in my opinion. So if you can afford to buy a new truck and you don't want to have to be putting money in the truck, you just want to drive it for the foreseeable future, a new truck is the way to go. Now, if you're just out here to make a buck and you're not really a trucker per se, you like driving a truck as a job, but you don't really like the whole trucker compass, you know what I mean? Like, whatever, I'm just doing it for work and I just want to make money. I don't care what I drive, as long as it goes from point A to point B and I don't have to put money in it and I get to keep as much money as I want to, as I can. Then you want to go to like Penske or Ryder or a place like that and just get one of those vanilla, plain Jane lease trucks. They're going to cover the tires. It's covered front to back. You make a lease payment, and if it breaks down, they'll tow a new truck out to you and then take that one, and you just keep rolling down the road. If that's what you want to do, if that's your goal, is to just kind of be vanilla. You don't want to customize your truck. You don't want to kind of do any performance. You're not looking to to really own something. A lease truck is the way to go. So those are my thoughts on new and used trucks. Like I said, it's up to you, and it kind of has to do with your personal situation. If you got an ass load of money, a lot of guys can't afford to go out and buy a new truck right out of the gate. I know I couldn't. I had to go buy the used truck, the $30,000 truck. And you know what? It got the job done, and it's still running. So do I think buying a used truck is bad? Nope. Do I think buying a new truck is bad? Nope. Do I think leasing a truck is bad? Maybe just a little bit. If that's what you want to do, by all means do it. I'm going to apologize. I can see the video is already up to 20 minutes, but I feel that it takes a minute to get the point across. It's kind of what I'm trying to convey. If you're hanging in there, I appreciate it. Now let's move on to the last thing, success. All right, sorry guys, I had to cut there for a minute. I got a phone call I had to take. Where we're at, we've talked about being a 1099. We've talked about new used trucks. We're talking about being successful. Guys, being successful is a personal goal, kind of like happiness. There's movie stars that commit suicide that are not happy, and they have millions of dollars. And then there's guys on the street corner that commit suicide because they're living on the street corner. And then everybody in between, right? So being successful is kind of like being happy. It's like a personal goal. If you're working at a company and you're making 40 cents a mile or whatever you're making, and you're happy there, and you're getting your bills paid and you're doing your thing and you're going on vacation, then you're successful in my eyes. If you're an owner operator and you're making it out here at all, you know, and doing it the right way, you know, as far as taking care of your business and yourself, then you're successful. I don't think it is based off of how much money you can make. You know, I can tell y'all till I'm blue in the face what I'm going to make this year. There's always going to be somebody out there who made more, you know. Typically, I mean, if you're an owner-operator, you should be making more than a company guy. But it depends on, maybe that company guy is hauling, you know, what is it, radioactive material, and they're paying him $5. I mean, you know what I mean? It depends on the job, too. You can make more money in the oil field right now than you can running over the work, but you're going to be working in the oil and gas field. You're going to be in the dirt. You're going to be out, you know, in the middle of nowhere sleeping that night. You're going to be working around hazardous chemicals, and you have to have so many more endorsements and, you know, and OSHA certifications and fit tests and all that. So it kind of comes with the territory. You know, what you're going to make is going to depend on your job. So I'm just kind of talking about being over the road right now, and general freight. If you're an owner-operator and you're out here making it at all, taking care of your business, making money, and kind of doing it the right way, as far as, you know, not illegally, then I think you're successful. You know, I can tell y'all till, like I said, till I'm blue in the face what I'm going to make. It doesn't mean that somebody else didn't make more and they're going to say, well, I'm not successful. Well, I'm happy with what I'm doing, and I'm happy with what I'm making. My business is profiting money. I'm making money, and I'm paying my bills, and I'm able to do what I want to do. So to me, I'm successful. So I'm going to end it with on that note, guys. Just remember, you know, don't let somebody else tell you the path that you have to take. Take your own path and do it the way you want to do it, and do what you want to do, because at the end of the day, when we're all on our deathbed, you know, you want to be able to look back and say, hey, I lived the life that I wanted to live, and I didn't do it because somebody else told me to do, you know, to do it this way. Life is short. So I hope everybody's having good. I appreciate y'all sticking it out with me and watching this video. I hope that you can take something away from it. There goes another plane. That being said, if you have a specific question that I did not cover, because I know I was kind of broad with it, please drop a comment in the box and I will get back with you 100%. I try to get back to everybody who leaves a question. And if I don't, leave that in the comments and say, hey man, I left a question, you didn't get back with me, what the fuck, Trucking with KC. You know, I apologize. But if you have a specific question, like I said, I've kind of done it all as a broad span. You know, I've hauled reefer, I've hauled you know, dry van, doubles and triples, tanker, fuel, pneumatic. I've been east to west, from California to New Jersey. No, I don't go down into friggin' New York City. I got no need to go over the bridge. But I've been out east for my fair share of time, and I've been all the way north, and I've been all the way south. So if there's something that I can help you guys with, please leave a question in the comments, and I will answer it. Thanks for watching, guys. Be safe out there and have fun as always.